Welcome back, Sethling here. The Week 38 Snapshot broke the Dustbowl map, and it also added some new features. So I updated the map to accommodate some of the changes, and so now you can play it again in Week 38. It turns out bats were flying around in the circuitry and causing all kinds of bugs. So let me go. I want to take this video to go over the new features and kind of announce the release of the new version of the map. The first thing you might notice is there's these randomized team buttons over here in the spawn, and I'm going to press it. Of course, I'm the only person in the server, so it'll, it's randomize the teams. I'm on red. But if you have any number of people, it'll work for actually as many people as you have on the server. It'll randomize the teams. It'll put some people over here on the red side, some people over here on the blue side. And there's a cooldown on this, so you can't just spam the button. You notice it doesn't say randomizing the teams like it did before. And so that's pretty cool. Very useful way of randomizing the teams. If you're in creative mode, it won't put you in the randomization process. So if you're going to be a spectator, head over here and press the spectator button. Just go into creative mode, and that whole thing will work out for you just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and start the game. There were a couple changes to the classes, so I want to go over those. The biggest change was to the medic. So let me pick medic. Medic has the exact same armor and weapons that it had before. The biggest change is that it gets different potions. So now it gets a single strength 2 splash potion when it spawns, and a stack of regen 2 potions that have a very short duration. This change was in response to the fact that the medic could previously just splash their health potions over and over again and just run right up into the enemy lines without dying at all. And it was basically just not really the way things should work. Whereas this one is more of a gradual thing, like you follow in a heavy with a regen potion, and you can make sure that they have that regen 2, very strong regen effect as they charge in. You kind of have to stay back a little bit more. You're not going to splash the other team quite so much. So it's just overall a better fit for the medic in the game. And then this strength 2 potion is supposed to mimic the Uber charge effect that the medic has. And so you can say if you give a heavy a strength 2 potion, they'll actually be able to come pretty close to one-shotting a lot of some of the classes, some of the weaker classes. They'll do a lot more damage, and so it's just a very strong effect for those melee classes. And you get one of those per spawn, so if I go ahead and kill myself, you'll see I get reset to 1 strength potion, 64 splash potions. Now, one of the cool things is that the command blocks are able to clear your inventory, so even though I already had 61 of these splash potions, it cleared those away and then gave me a fresh set of 64, and that's pretty cool. Also, the fact that give gives you the items instantly. You notice it just instantly gave it to you. Means things are a little bit faster in this version. So I'm gonna head back to the spawn, and oh, match is about to start. And choose a different class. I'm going to choose Spy this time. Spy also received some pretty big changes, not quite as big. And so they still have all the same gear, the helmet and whatever. Here's the damaged armor. The difference with the Spy is you get this damaged armor that's the other team's color every single time that you spawn. So, kill myself. It'll clear away the old armor. So if I was wearing it before, I'm not going to be wearing it anymore. Which actually is probably good if you're, if you want to use that invisibility effect. But it's really helpful that you get those fresh set of damaged armor every time. Before you'd get it every 2 or 3 times that you spawned, and so a lot of the time you just wouldn't get it, and you'd have to, it wouldn't be so great. So that's the change to the Spy class. Demo class also gets their 4 stacks of damage potions, damage splash potions every time they spawn, so you don't have to constantly go back and change classes or anything. I think that's the major changes. I mean, like the scout class has their empty bottle taken away when they die, and they don't accumulate them. Same with heavy. Heavy only gets 1 golden apple each time he spawns, and it clears away all the old golden apples. So I actually want to go over how the Randomized Teams function works. It's kind of neat, and I think it's useful for a lot of maps. So when you push the button down here, it comes up here and triggers some redstone. And this is basically an AND gate right here between this minecart tripping this tripwire and this signal from the button. So there's like an AND gate between those two that triggers these two command blocks. So if the cart is there and somebody presses the button, then it'll trigger the command blocks. By pushing this button, it also triggers this line of redstone, or this one over here, which will send the cart off on this path, which puts it up at the top of this and drops it through the webs. That's what caused the 2-minute timeout, because this AND gate needs both the button press and this minecart and the tripwire in order to actually trigger these command blocks. So that's where the timeout comes from. And then when you get the timeout, there's two commands. It teleports everybody who's within a 9-meter radius and who is in adventure mode to a specific set of coordinates. And it also just says randomizing the team so that you can tell what's happening. You don't get confused why you're suddenly teleported. So that command block will teleport you into this little capsule right here, which has no redstone attached to it. And there's this constantly running minecart here. And there's two command blocks that it triggers with these detector rails. And that teleports a random player who's in the capsule to the I don't know, this is either the red side or the blue side, and then this teleports a random player who's in the capsule to the opposite side from the other one. I'm not actually sure which block is which. But basically, the effect you get is as soon as people are teleported in there, these command blocks start getting triggered, and you'll teleport one player to red, one player to blue, one player to red, one player to blue, etc., until there's nobody left in the capsule. And that will make the teams even, and if there's an odd number of players, one team will get an extra player, but it'll never deviate beyond that. So this is a really good method for randomizing the number of players that you get on each team, or the same number of players on each team, but just picking them randomly, and it works quite well. So this is probably applicable to a lot of maps that need randomized teams. I know I've been playing a lot of PvP maps like that recently. So yeah, feel free to download the updated version of this map for week 38 from the video description, and have fun playing Team Fortress 2 in week 38. Thanks for watching.